DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective. Your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
Draft heads, what's up? I'm back. It's Joe Williams. How's it going? Good to see everyone. Thanks to the guys for holding it down in my stead last week. I had parent-teacher conferences or meet the teacher night, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was a nightmare. Regardless, I'm back. So happy to be here. Thanks for everyone who's joining us live. Welcome into the Key Pass Collective. This, of course, is the audio companion to the Draft Society website. If you have not been to the Draft Society, what are you doing with your life? Get over there and win your leagues. We are basically specialists in the draft fantasy football game, particularly as it's sort of scored on the, what do you want to call it, extended scoring system, enhanced scoring system on the Fantrax platform, and also the Sleeper platform now, which is pretty cool. There's some kinks to work out there, but we're trying to help them out and do it. So check out Sleeper if you haven't yet. It's pretty cool that they're getting into the game. We're really excited about it. Regardless. Anyway, yes. People are mentioning my kit, my jersey. I got a Liverpool one on. For those listening to the audio companion or the audio podcast later on, you should check out the live feed. You should check out the YouTubes, and you can actually see things like that. But 5:30 p.m. Wednesdays is usually when we record. Join us. Draft Espresso, what's going on? Draft Pie, how are you? Of course, I think there's more of you waiting in the wings. Say hey. Jump in on the chat and ask us questions anytime. We're happy to engage and see if we can answer any questions that you guys have. Let's get down to it. So basically, I mentioned the Draft Society real quick. So if you are interested in getting a little bit more involved in this community, I would recommend definitely becoming a member of the Inner Circle. There's two ways to do that. You can do the season pass, which is $60. That'll get you access to literally everything for the entire season. You can also do a monthly pass, which is $6 a month. That'll get you in the Discord. That'll get you in all the secret chats, all the channels. But that's not going to get you the fantasy toolkit. The fantasy toolkit is for season-long subscribers. It literally uses your Fantrax secret ID and gives you pickups, waiver options, trade calculations, rest of season team rankings or values, power rankings for your entire team, fixture difficulty tracker. I mean, it's just like it's so much, and it's specialized. It is bespoke to your league. So that's an incredible tool. DraftLad is an absolute genius for making it, and it's really incredible. So saves me a lot of time every week when I'm doing my waiver wire pickups and all that. So check it out if you're interested. Fantasy Toolkit. We can also, I maybe should not say that, but I'm going to say it. We can also, if you're interested, and you're thinking that maybe that might be something that would be worthwhile, we can get you a trial. So if you're interested in a trial period with the Fantasy Toolkit, do let us know. We'd be happy to oblige. All right, so let's just jump into it, guys. I think everybody else knows what the Draft Society does and all the amazing offerings that we have. You guys talked about our consensus rankings over international break, which were just released. Top 150 from about 5 or 6 of us. And you can go check those out on the website. Inner Circle members can go there and sort by whatever they want, by whomever they want. You can sort by team. You can sort by analyst who's doing the rankings. You can sort by all kinds of stuff and check out our rankings. All right, today, as we get into game week 5 and back into the groove of things, we're going to do some What's in the Box. It's been too long. We're going to do What's in the Box today, complete with that snappy jingle that we've got. And of course, then we'll move on to some streamers. So yeah, probably do a little debating about what's in the box. But of course, seems like there, in that lineup, there might be some time for some questions. So again, if you guys have any questions for us, hit us up in the chat. Okay. Sanjy, Ryan, how's the week, guys? How the hell are you?
Good. We already talked about my beard shaving, so I feel unfettered and free this week.
Shorn. Completely shorn.
Yes. Indeed.
Yeah, it was really strange going into the lobby and seeing you without a beard. I was like, who's the new guy in TDS?
How many years
exactly
shaves off?
I'd say at least 5, 6.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a good looking face under here.
I still think you look better with the beard, but I mean,
yeah.
I might be biased, so
yeah. You're not wrong.
Must be nice for you guys to be able to grow those. That seems cool.
We'll grow this thing.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, my dad has given me a gene that means that I just don't have hair aside from on my head, which is pretty cool a lot of times, but also if I'm trying to grow a beard, not working. It's just not there. So
can't have it all.
Now that I've shared far too much, did you guys watch any Champions League today?
I had City on in the background, but just more of a hate watch.
Yeah, that's fair. 0-0.
Yeah.
They gave up a point.
This little preview of the matchup this weekend.
Yeah. KDB off, potentially injured at half. That would be some news worth mentioning.
Yeah, I didn't see that, so I don't have any intel on it. But yeah, I've been, as you know, going back and forth to Genie on this. I don't think he's just going to last this season. I think he'll have a high PPS, but no more than 25-ish starts. But we'll see.
Yeah. Was there, between yesterday and today, was there any other news of note in Champions League happenings or in League Cups where there were any injuries or
Watkins?
People who absolutely killed it? I saw Ferdy got a goal.
Yeah, I saw that tonight. Watkins had ice on his ankle. I don't think it's anything serious, but just...
Yeah, Dinnery said it was tactical, but yeah, I did see the ice. I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, I think just it's too early to tell, but yeah, I mean, you can read into the midweek lineups as much as you want. Like, given that Konate started midweek, is he really going to go three games in a row? Does it open it up for Kwanzaa? Also, like the Gakpo finally gets his debut. All that. So,
I think that'll play into some of the conversations we have later, because is
that in the box?
Oh, we're talking streamers, and when we're talking, several of those guys, there's some Liverpool players in some boxes today for sure.
Nice.
Speaking of, should we just get to it?
Yep.
All right, let's go. 1 second. All right, what's in the box? What is it? So basically, we have placed players into 4 different boxes, and actually, we have some picks from Totti, even though he couldn't join us today, which is awesome. So he hopped in and gave us some thoughts. So we've got 4 players, or at least 4 players in 4 different boxes. Each of us will sort of explain what's going on with our player who's in that particular box. We're going to try to focus on players who were not in this box coming into the season. Instead, they now find themselves in said box where they maybe did or did not want to be. I would say most of them is did not, but at least one of them is they're maybe happy to be in the box now. Anyway, without further ado.
Guess what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I just love it so much.
God, the juxtaposition. I mean, just
you could write it.
Kiss.
You could write a thesis on it.
Yeah. Well done. How long did it take you to conjure up that jingle?
Oh man, I had to search far and wide on YouTube for what's in the box. I don't even know what cartoon that's from. I knew I wanted to use
Teletubbies kind of thing.
Yeah. I knew I wanted to use the Brad Pitt line, of course.
Yeah, is that where you started with? Like,
Yeah,
you knew you wanted to do it, and then you had to pair it with something.
Yeah. And it just so happens I found the perfect cartoon, Teletubbies, whatever the hell you want to call it, song.
We're gonna have to find out what cartoon that is, and
Right.
watch
really
an episode next Draftapalooza or something.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So the first box, guys, we have DROP ASAP. This is one we use pretty much every time we open the box. So anytime we have what's in the box, we pretty much always include DROP ASAP. So these are players that just inexplicably have not been dropped yet. We're kind of wondering what you're doing still rostering these players. Their rostership, their rosterhood is quite high. Still quite high. And we're going to make the case that these guys should be gone from your roster. So, Totti says Daichi Kamada, which I think is an obvious one, guys.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially since Eddie's come in and immediately started. And judging by, I watched the game, but also kind of follow a few Palace supporters. And they were just like stunned by how good Eddie is. So I don't see him coming back. And even when he did play, he wasn't doing great. So not worth the headache.
He scored midweek as well in the cup game for them as well, right? So,
Kamada?
Nketiah.
Oh, Nketiah. Okay.
Yeah. Open
Nice
his
one.
account, so
Yeah, and you don't pay. What did they pay for him? Like 40? I mean,
It was like 30, but with add-ons, it might go up to like 35.
that's a chunk of
a lot
change.
for
Yeah.
Palace.
Yeah. I mean, Eddie's going to get his minutes. I completely agree with Totti there. I came up with what I told you guys in our group chat might be the most goal-dependent player to ever exist in fantasy football. Sammy Smodix. Have you looked at his numbers?
is it like
I'm
0?
afraid.
For this
So, okay, so against Liverpool, he scored 3 in 15 minutes, and people were, whoa, okay, wow, we might be onto something here. Against City, he scored 11 and a quarter with a goal. 11.25 with a goal.
There was a yellow card there as well, I think.
Was there? There
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
You're right. You're right. Okay, fair. Against Fulham, 80 minutes, 2.25. And against Brighton, 58 minutes, -1.
Yeah, I mean, you can tolerate some goal-dependent assets. You can't tolerate goal-dependent assets on promoted teams. You just can't.
No, and actually, the goal dependent argument plays into my second one as well, and that's Yohan Wissa. Obviously, the injury, it's extremely unfortunate. But if you spend some time with his numbers as well, I mean, you should have been trying to trade him out. I just couldn't find a buyer. I know. I couldn't find a buyer.
Love the Southampton result, but I couldn't find a buyer either.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Southampton, I completely agree. Smodic is a drop, but Ipswich are playing Southampton this game week.
That's fair.
You know it's going to be classic fantasy that everyone's going to drop him and he's going to bang.
You're not wrong.
This is the only fixture that if you need a flyer, you can start him.
Okay, so drop him after this week, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's the ultimate gamble, this fixture, I think.
Totally.
Like,
Yep. Okay. Totally. Yeah. Yeah, Wissa, oh man. I mean, he was on another one of his unsustainable runs, 3 goals in 4 games. And then got the injury. And he's going to be out till at least November or late. No, I think late. Yeah, early November.
Yeah, two
Said at least 2 months, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, at that point, you can't afford to hold somebody like that. When you look at the games where he doesn't score, you're talking 2, maybe 3, if you're lucky, something like that. So he's another one of those guys. And once he's back, pick him up for sure. Even pick him up a week or 2 ahead of time. But in the meantime, he's a drop for me. Nice. Ryan, yours was the guy I had in mind when I made this slideshow. Yep.
Nice
Destiny. Go ahead.
I mean, speaks for itself. 3 of 4 starts under 4 points. The lone outlier was when he got a clean sheet and he got 8. So if your ceiling is 8 and you're on a team that I think the stat is only 7 clean sheets and God knows how many games under Ange. That's a recipe for disaster. So he had a couple decent games last season, but only because he got some attacking returns. He's just not worth rostering, especially with so many good defensive streamers out there. The fact that he's, what did you say, 94% rostered is just absurd.
It's ridiculous. And I mean, there's been some weird inconsistencies with Fantrax roster numbers this year. I don't really know what's going on with them, but that's pretty common. But regardless, his rostership is still quite high. And so, if it's not 94, it's still going to be 80 plus, and that's too much.
They nearly lost to Coventry tonight as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man, made 2 late goals.
Yeah.
Would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That their bread and butter is late goals, though. I mean, that's what they do when they win. This year, though, what are they said they're off to the. I couldn't remember at the end of the game, Ryan. They said they're off to their worst start since like 2000.
I don't know if it's that long. I thought it was like 9 years or something.
Was it? Okay, that's still 9 years is a long time.
Yeah,
They had a pretty good start for Spurs. Like,
no, I mean, ironically, like they're the ones that like celebrate winning the league in September against Sheffield United. They're like, and Ange always gets manager of the month for the first couple months. Like they always start off like a house on fire and then inevitably crumble. But this year they're doing the opposite. So
right, it's hard
we'll
not
see.
to think back to last year and the theatrics. Yeah, for sure.
So funny.
I mean, Ange came out and said how he's winning a trophy second season. So I want to know what trophy he's winning.
I'm here to see it.
Conte said the same thing. Mourinho said the same thing. Harry probably did as well. I mean, there's a movable force and unstoppable object, and that's Spurs.
Don't you dare say anything negative about Pochettino, though. That man is a saint. We revere him.
I mean, he's a red-blooded American. I would never say anything bad about him.
Exactly.
Honestly, that was such an intelligent appointment for
Right?
the US team. Like, you guys are like spoiled with young talent as well, and he has a knack for knowing how to nurture these young kids, right? So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what you guys are gonna do, especially hosting the World Cup as well. So, yeah,
He's got enough time as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they didn't do it like last minute. I mean, he's got 2 years. Get these
I
guys
still
in
can't
shape.
believe it happened.
Yeah, I know. I was fully expecting Greg with 2 Gs.
Oh yeah.
I never thought we'd get rid of him.
Or I was like, okay, we're gonna go from Greg to Steve Chirundolo. I'm like, okay, great, yeah. More like MLS cool kids, that sort of like insular little
boys
bubble.
club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Good on him.
FPL Rubber Ducky, welcome. Quack quack. Back to you. Very nice. All right, Sanjy. I'm a little bit surprised at this one, to be completely honest.
Friendly fire here.
Why? Because it's a chat. I mean, people who listen to my content should know I'm brutally honest about my own team. Like, I don't give a shit if we're bad, we're bad. Like, and this one kind of came about because of Jeannie's conversation in our group chat, and it was like, yeah, it's a good reminder to let managers know you can drop Reece James. Like, he's 80% owned. That is way too high. Way too high. And I obviously, like you said, there's issues with the rostership percentages and stuff like that. I don't know what it is in the big three, but yeah, man, it's just relapse after relapse after relapse. Like, why are you risking your season or even a few game weeks on some hope that you're gonna get this defender one that he used to be? Like, it's not worth it, man. Don't put yourself through that pain. So, like, don't do it. Yeah.
I will not argue with you. The only one who would be Genie if he was here. I can't argue with this. I completely agree.
Yeah, it has to be an easy one. So yeah,
He's still holding. At least last we talked to him, he's still holding out a little bit of hope. And I was actually amazed, even like a week and a half ago, to see James still on his roster. But yeah.
I mean, Genie does some crazy things though. Like, it wouldn't
True.
surprise me if like Genie drops his first pick to like keep Reece James and then manages to get another pick back. Like, I feel like only managers like Genie can manage to like pull off stashing Reece James, play him, win a matchup, and then drop him at some point later on in the season.
No,
like,
he would trade him for like a second round pick. Yeah.
And somebody will bite. Like,
right. He'll trade him.
Don't bite. Yeah.
He'll trade him for like Odegaard because he's injured or something, and it's like, who the hell did that trade? Yeah,
I don't understand how he managed to pull off some trades, man. Honestly, it's crazy.
it's wild. Yeah.
Persistence. It's a numbers
It really
game.
is. And I mean, I'm in the
send
league
enough.
with him. Listen, every week I get a trade from Genie. I'm like, this makes no sense. Stop sending me this garbage. But then Genie told me that he does this to every single person in the league.
Yep.
So I'm like, I get it.
It's exactly what he does. That's exactly what he does. Yeah.
We
I mean,
had
even to us, Sanjy, like members of TDS, he sends us terrible trades.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you're like, somebody's going to accept, Kulusevski and Reece James for like what was the equivalent of a second round pick.
Yeah,
I
we
think
came
back to
an
like,
agreement last year. I was like, dude, I'm not going to take any of this stuff.
Just stop sending them.
An armistice. Yeah.
I think back to like that moment in the office when Creed is like, he don't give a F about nothing. And that's like Genie with trades. So.
I mean, I guess it's good advice. Like, if you have the time on your hands, like Prash is saying, right? Spam some trades, and then somebody eventually takes it, and it's like slowly but surely you're making your team better. Yeah. All right, time for box number 2, boys. Set and forget. So again, these are ideally guys who were not already in this box. So this is an interesting one because these are guys that kind of came out of nowhere. We're excited about them. They're looking like real, true fantasy assets this season, and hopefully we can just pop them in our lineups. And even against the cities of the world, we can just forget about it. Just they're in there forever. All right, Totti, Dwight McNeil. Oh, obviously, what? I don't understand. Totti.
I said the same thing about Jedi.
Oh, okay.
And Flecken as well. I mean, these guys are.
Flecken's a new one. Flecken's a new one for this season.
Yeah, fair.
He's this season's Murich, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I have him. I have him everywhere. He had a good run at the end of last season, but yeah, McNeil, man.
You're okay. I'll argue. I'll say this. Yours is the only ballsy one. So we have Totti with McNeil and Konate. I've got Mark Flecken. Ryan's got Mario Lemina, and Sanjy has Anthony Robinson.
I thought about Lemina, but for me that is very Andre dependent. I think Andre needs to play to facilitate Lemina playing further forward.
He's done it. He did it before. I mean, he's had a good season prior to obviously the last game was a monster, but prior to that he had good performances as well. I think it's a positional thing. Yeah, I mean, Andre might facilitate it a little bit, but I don't think him not starting would necessarily negate Lemina. Yeah, maybe we start with McNeil. I mean,
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's a second round pick.
The guy does nothing.
What do you mean? He has the most ghost points in the league so far, right?
Yeah, and he does absolutely nothing.
Wait, Sanjy, you have him right on the team that beat me last week?
Oh, mate, I don't even want to talk about it because I got so fucking lucky in that matchup. Like, yeah.
You beat me by 2 points.
Yeah, it's mental. I have him in. I don't know, maybe in my dynasty league as well. He's consistent. Like, I mean, he's consistently shit as well when Everton are really, really shit. But thankfully, he's started the season on fire.
Can I just I'm gonna think back to last year when I rostered him and the number of games where it was the 80th minute he had scored 2 points or like he was on like 0.5 and somehow ends the game with 12 or even 8. And I'm like, how the hell?
They're down 3. He's spamming in crosses. reach no one and gets points from them. It's disgusting.
That's the downside of the way that we scored this game, I guess. But
Yeah, he's like the anti-Adama. It's like
right.
there are people that, pick up points that are fun to watch, and they deserve them. And then there's Dwight McNeil.
Uh-huh. Which, speaking of, Draft Pie said Adama should be in this list, and he's probably right, to be honest.
No,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I think he is.
What do you guys think about it?
Konate.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I don't know if you can put a really injury-prone player that has a decent backup as a set and forget.
Yeah, agreed there. I think like another defender you could probably throw in is Pedro Porro.
Oh, totally.
He's been doing really, really well this season. But I agree with the Konate one. And I mean, Joe, you can probably touch on this as our in-house Liverpool fan. The Kwanzaa thing is worrying me. That's why I didn't really try and go for either one of those centre backs.
I mean, so from my perspective, I think Slot has made it pretty clear that he doesn't rate Kwanzaa. And I think he's going to start him in rotation for some games here and there, this weekend potentially being one of them. But generally, I think that 45-minute sub in the first match of the season was very telling. And then his comments recently have been, oh, previously I've been able to play the same team. Like, I'm hoping to just go ahead and keep doing that. And we really thought he was going to be much more of a rotation guy. He's known for keeping his players fit, for limiting their minutes. But I think what that's turned out to be is limiting their minutes game to game and not like whether or not they start the match.
He rotated a fair amount midweek, though. I mean,
sure, but I mean, yeah, but that's not in the league. I mean, I was honestly astounded at how many players he started who were just back from international duty.
Yeah. I mean, this weekend would be the test. This is the first time that they've had midweek games, and then we'll see if he rotates this weekend. Because if Kwanzaa doesn't get a start this weekend, then it will just be the inevitable Konate injury that would do it.
We'll get to it in the streamers, but I mean, I'm picking up, if I have the roster flexibility, I'm picking up Kwanzaa and Bradley anywhere I can.
I'm against Konate in 2 leagues, so I picked up Kwanzaa more as just like a fuck you.
I love that. I hope it happens for you. I hope it happens for you.
I did too. I doubt it will, but I want it to.
Yeah, that's
fair. The Johnstone Saw play worked out well for you as well, no?
Oh.
Yeah, that was chef's kiss, because if he would have started him, he would have won.
Damn. Nice.
That's the beauty of having an open slot.
Yeah.
From all accounts, he's been training, but Johnston's been doing decently, and I think they understand that long term he's going to be the one. I think Saw was supposed to go to Saudi, and it hasn't happened. So I think his days are numbered. So they're probably just starting fresh with Johnston.
Yeah, Saw played in the cup tonight versus Brighton as well. So I think it's Johnston's place as well. So
yeah,
nice. All right, and he scored okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few goalkeepers I think that are available in most leagues that you could easily just stream, not worry about. Like, you've got Ramsdale as well. I think is a fantastic option.
Wish I'd have done that last week against you, my friend.
Oh yeah, that would have been easy win in the back.
I'm done. I'm never starting Emmy again. I'm serious. I'm gonna take this one to my grave. I'm never starting Emmy again.
I think you're unlucky given the points that he scored so far for the season. Like, he was positive for the most part, and it was above 2 points as well. All of them. It's just like, that was some rotten luck, honestly.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. But a lot of good goalkeeping options. So don't think it's an issue.
So happy I found Flecken
early
and have him in every league. It's just it's such a relief not to have to stream goalkeepers week to week and worry about it. It's nice.
Yeah, and like you said, I know it's obvious at this point that that Flecken is kind of set and forget, but I think it's worth mentioning because, Muric was last season's guy. And Flecken, and honestly,
Still might be this season.
Muric, started -4 against City. Everybody was like, oh, shit, what did we do? Then 7 against Fulham, 24 against Brighton.
If I didn't have Flecken, I would have definitely pivoted to Muric.
Yeah. He's an interesting one to think about, but yeah. All right, Ryan, let's talk Lamina. This is
I did not really see this coming. So he was one of those guys last season that him and João Gomez would just go back and forth in terms of random double-digit point performances where you just couldn't really predict it. But if you wanted to take a flyer, you could stream one of them. So I didn't really think much of him coming into the season, but he's been great so far. He's averaging just around 9 ghosts per start, just dropped 13 ghosts over the weekend with a goal. So he's got the ability to drop monsters. He was playing more forward than Cunha much of the game against Newcastle, which was insane to see. So yeah, he's definitely playing a bit further advanced, but he also still gets the defensive points, which is why I thought about him in terms of set and forget, because against big guys he can pick up tackles and interceptions and defensive stats, but also against more promoted clubs or poor defenses he can nick attacking returns and more offensive stats. So that's why I think he might be a set and forget this season.
He's still going to be like a mid 3, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
but a set and forget mid 3, mid 4, and in a season where mids are very, very far between.
9.5. Sure, he wasn't great against Chelsea. 2.75, but at 14 and then 22. And the 22 came against Newcastle in a 2-1 loss.
It could have been more as well because Strand Larson hit the post for one of the big chances that Lamina created. So,
and that was against Chelsea, you mean?
No, Newcastle.
Oh, against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Newcastle are getting away with murder at the moment with their season. I don't know. They're playing shit and getting results. It's really frustrating. But yeah, Lamina looks a solid option. I think Wolves are kind of in this weird gung ho. They're just going out and trying to attack as much as possible, but still concede tons. So yeah, I think you're good. I agree with what Ryan said as well. In terms of he has these defensive traits that I think he's just been used to playing that role for Wolves for so long. So even if he was to play further forward, I think he's just going to naturally drop back and try and win the ball and contribute to the defensive work. So yeah, great pick, honestly.
All right, Sanjy, tell us about Anthony.
Ooh, Jedi boy. Second most ghost points for the season.
That's amazing.
Honestly, so there, I know it's a bit of an obvious pick, but I kind of wanted to raise him as well because he's got a fixture with Man City on the horizon, Gameweek 7. So I think
a good point.
Managers are going to be hesitant about it, but I think honestly, it's exactly what we're saying is set and forget. I think you'll be fine, to risk that fixture. I mean, even after that, Villa at home is another tough fixture, and you think Villa are probably gonna start getting their shit together once the team settles. Watkins gets a bit more fit. Again, no issues. I'm playing him every game week. Is he like a defender 1? No. Is that too bold to say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He'll be a top 5 defender the rest of the season, 100%.
That's crazy to think.
Monster.
Where did you guys get him in your draft? Draft day?
I have him in one league. I got him 5th or 6th, I want to say.
That's mental.
5th or 6th round. Yeah, it's
I don't want to throw any shade, but in IGL, immediately after the draft was done, I offered 40 fab to somebody.
I saw that. Yeah,
you got it.
You got it. Yeah, I saw that. Brilliant bit of business.
It was that Antonio Banderas meme, where he's leaning back in his chair. Yeah.
Yeah. Got the notification on your laptop.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, no, I mean, Sanjy, to back up your point, I mean, I was just, with our fantasy toolkit, which is an incredible resource. But last week, was it last week or was it, let's see, hold on. I think it was last week they played West Ham? Either that. So it's either last week or this week coming up against Newcastle.
This week. It was this. So they played it Game Week 4 was West Ham fixture, yeah.
Got it. And then this week's Newcastle. Well, one of those, and I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm not in the toolkit at the moment, but one of those, the toolkit recommended that with the rest of my players that I have, that I actually bench him. Like, it was like, well, in terms of projected points, yeah, you should probably bench him this week. And I was like, not a chance.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think we should also remind people, like, the toolkit isn't really, like, I think, gospel in that sense. It's more like a sounding board if you don't have one, with like a group chat or like the Discord, where you guys should come join the Discord, guys. But yeah, you need to be cautious about those things because I think 100% you have to start him. Like, he's going to be one of the first starters in anybody's team sheet or roster, I want to say.
Yeah, sounding board is a great way to put it. I like that a lot. Like, think of it as your buddy who's like
a baseline.
Hey, hey, should I start this guy or this guy? And they're like, I don't know, I guess this guy. I don't know. But then you got to go with your knowledge of the game and your gut. For sure. All right, I like it. Cool. All right, guys, I'm excited about this one. So this is Lost Cause. This is different than Drop ASAP. This one is players that managers and I would say a lot of savvy managers are holding these players because they truly believe that, like, this player is going to come good. This player is more of like a long-term play. Maybe it's going to take a few weeks, but they're going to get in the squad eventually, and they're going to kick on. We don't think so. So that's essentially what this box is. So this is Lost Cause. Totti's picks are Dewsbury Hall and Hall. I love it's actually interesting that happened. I love the KDH shout. I think that's spot on.
Yeah, that's been up for a while now. I think we found out like week 2 that KDH was just not going to get the play time that we all thought he would.
He shot up in my rankings after all the preseason shit that went down. I really thought that there was going to be a door open after Gallagher left, and I thought he was going to fill it.
Yeah, it was a weird signing. Obviously, if you play with the manager of the previous season, you're the only one who has. Then you think that he's, bottom because he fits the system and he's going to play him. And then nope, nothing at Chelsea is as it seems.
Nope. Yeah, what do you think about this one, Sanjy?
No, I completely agree. He wasn't. I don't think he was even part of the squad for the Bournemouth game. He didn't come off the bench versus Palace. Like, there were certain moments I was like, it'd be useful to have like a number 8. I guess we're not gonna use him. So yeah, I mean, I've been banging this drum about like Chelsea assets all season. Is like Palmer or bust. Like, don't look at us. Don't touch us. Like, we are chaos. Like, nothing settled. Like, this game week, Jadon Sancho was our best player.
Wow,
how amazing is that? Like, yeah, it's pure.
It's true. It's true. From a fantasy perspective, though, I'm still liking Noni.
Yeah, I would as well. Like, I think any Chelsea attacker is worth a gamble in that sense. Like, the forward players, I want to say, not any of these mids like Enzo, Caicedo, any of these guys, but you're gonna need to have a deep squad as well, because you're going to expect that rotation, expect the odd benching. Like, you don't expect that hat trick every other game week or every 5 game weeks or whatever. It's a rare scenario, and I don't know. I don't think he ghosted well in that hat trick game either.
No,
from what I remember, yeah. So, to be honest, I think
bust.
Yeah, and you know what? I would have probably tried to sell high after that game. I know it's a little late now, but the minute he gets another attacking return or maybe gets a combo or something, honestly, I try to ship him out.
Yeah.
I tried to ship Visa for him right before this weekend,
Oh.
but
Oh.
didn't work out. I
If
just dropped
only.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was freeing just to drop him because I was just like,
I know.
I'm only going to
Yeah.
start him against Southampton, but I can't drop him because he should have more value than that. And now I'm free, just
Yep.
like my beard. Been a
No,
liberating
absolutely.
week.
Absolutely. All right. Mine is Cody Gakpo, and it's already stirring up a little bit of chat in the chat. So Chapdog telling me that Slot said he would have started Gakpo versus Forrest if he didn't start both international games. Well, guess what? Slot started like 6 other players that started both international games that match.
I thought Slot said that Diaz just came back fitter and was in better shape. I don't think it's a knock on Gakpo, but maybe it's different interviews, different sources, that sort of stuff.
I mean,
like
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying like Diaz is basically playing like a man possessed. Like, why would you bench him at all? Like,
I just think the knock on Gakpo is that he's not in the form that our other players are in at the moment. And I know, last weekend was woeful. That was really, really, really bad game to watch. But that aside, yeah, he looked good midweek. There's a chance he might get a game or two here and there. If he starts this weekend and you're a Gakpo manager, I would start him, obviously, and then try to trade out and see if you can get a decent value for him. I mean, at this point, the returns that you're going to get from him once every 4 to 5 weeks or whatever it is, I mean, that's streamer level. There's no reason to hold a player like that, in my opinion. So when I say lost cause, right? I mean, in terms of like his season-long output, his season-long numbers, that's where I'm at with him.
Yeah, what I like about Gakpo is he always has a pop. He's got a bit of El Ghazi about him. I should have made a small fortune over the Euros just betting on him to get at least a shot on target every Netherlands game.
Yeah, totally.
He would just have a go. But yeah, you might wait until he has a start, has a decent score, and sell high if you don't want to have the headache. Because the only other real comfortable way of rostering him is having him as a cuff with Diaz.
That's fair. I'm sorry. There's a lot of good beard
of
good beard talk going on in the chat right now, which is really fantastic. My favorite is ZB saying that he's currently trimming his beard while listening to this, and Draft Pie responds by saying his beard is a tiny, tiny bit longer now than it was at the start of this podcast.
All true.
Oh, it's so good. All right, Ryan, take it away.
Jai is somebody that I was intrigued about coming into the draft just because he had such a great active role at Sheffield United, and we never got to see him kind of show it in the Prem. But he's classified as a forward. I still don't think he's going to be a reliable starter. Even if he was, my opinion wouldn't change. He's going to get you 5 to 7 most games. Everton don't score goals. He's not going to, you can't rely on him to, have a monster because he's not going to get that many attacking returns. Forwards are a dime a dozen. I don't know what roster you could have where you feel comfortable starting Jai week in, week out.
That's a good point.
And I just think he's streamer level, and that stream is only like Southampton and other relegation fodder. And if you don't have another forward 3 that you fancy, so I don't see the point of rostering him.
Even against Leicester this weekend.
That's
the thing. It comes back to that Southampton Ipswich dilemma, right? Easy fixture on the horizon. What do you do?
And they have Ipswich in 3 weeks. Palace in there too, and Palace have been bad.
Still worth holding, and it's not a boast about my rosters, but I don't have any forwards that I would bench for Jai, even against those
Yeah.
relegation fodder clubs.
And week to week, I mean, there have been streamers that I would rather have than him, I feel like. I mean, not to spoil anything coming up, but, we talk about even if like somebody like Jimenez starts again this week, how on earth would you not start him over Jai? I know, Sanjay, I'm sorry. I don't want to rain on your parade.
It's all right. I'm happy you brought it up.
But yeah, we'll get there for sure. We'll get there. But like, yeah, I totally agree. I completely agree. And let's see, in the 2 games he started, against Bournemouth, 7, respectable, all ghost points, it looks like, right? Yeah. And then against Villa, 4 in 80 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you're 9 times out of 10 going to get out of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, if he was a mid, I might feel differently. But again, I don't know a roster where he could be comfortably week in, week out, forward 3. So, and then Harvey Barnes speaks for itself. Plays the best when he's coming off the bench. Injured 3/4 of the season.
Yep.
Super goal and attacking return dependent. Newcastle very finicky, so it's just like take your pick.
I couldn't bear to roster him. There's no way. That's the exact type of player that makes me want to pull my hair out. I just can't do it. It's miraculous that I still have Foden at this point.
Honestly, I feel it for you Foden managers though. Honestly, like I know,
tough, man.
I know Robbie talked about like he expected the drop off this season given the overperformance on the XG, but this is the most brutal way to start a season with your first pick. Genuinely is.
Yeah,
PFA Player of the Year, and now
that's
you
crazy.
Get a start.
I mean, I really think the sickness was something more serious than they're telling us. I really don't know.
The chlamydia is just a couple pills.
Exactly.
I don't want to ask how or why you know that, but I'm gonna assume Google saved you there.
I mean, say what you want to say about the American educational system, but
we learn about
pretty good
STDs
resources here.
Yeah. STIs
Especially
actually.
Catholic
I think.
school.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you remember like it was around the time when we were in like middle school, high school that they changed them to STIs instead of STDs?
I still don't use the I.
No, same.
They're diseases.
Prosh is mentioning though that Foden played 45 today, which was encouraging. 3 key passes, 2 shots on target. I like that.
Yeah, he was playing central, I think. Versus Inter Milan tonight. So yeah, I mean he could be back.
Fine.
No.
We'll be fine.
Did a hell of a lot more than Holland did, that's for sure.
Wait for this weekend. Going back in Saliba's pocket.
Oh,
it's gonna be a great battle.
Your lips to God's ears.
Yeah.
All right, Sanjy, round it out. I love this pick, by the way.
Oh yeah, I thought you would, Joe, because I know you share the hatred for this man. I had him as a 5th pick, I think, in the Lifestyle League, the one that Robbie kind of runs. Yeah, I don't know, man. I genuinely thought he would have started the season hot after that preseason form. Then, it's like waters where Jesus gets some sort of random niggle, random injury that puts him out. And now, even when you guys were like bare bones, like versus Spurs, I generally thought he was going to get more time. Probably not the start because he just came back from injury, but I don't know. Like I dropped him in that league a while ago, especially right after the injury. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna go through this all over again. And I mean, Ryan, you might have a better take on this, man. But
no, I'm curious what your expectation was going into the season, because like I didn't expect him to start coming into the season, because I talked ad nauseum over the summer about how great Kai was at number 9. And that Arteta would be crazy to mess with that. That Jesus would kind of be more of a rotation piece and maybe threaten more of Martinelli or Trossard starts on the wings. And that opinion really hasn't changed. The only The only league I got him in was the league where I have Kai, just so
that's
I
smart.
have somewhat cover. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I agree that he's probably a lost cause, but I didn't have lofty expectations coming into the season for him.
It's still 78% rostered, right? It feels a bit high, but yeah, I don't know that if I had him in another league, I think this week I'd be dropping him for some other random waiver pick or keeping that spot open in my roster.
But now that I don't know if I would now. I mean, he's
With
back
Champions
fit
League.
and Odegaard's out, so like the fixtures are coming thick and fast. So like this would be the actual time where he might get the odd start. But again, he's going to be maddening to roster unless you have some sort of cuff or Arsenal cover for sure.
Would it surprise you if he started versus Atalanta?
No,
tomorrow? Yeah.
no, not at all. He started a fair amount of Champions League games last season and did really well. He was our top scorer. So yeah, I think he's got that Champions League pedigree from his time at City. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kai gets a rest.
Yeah.
Yep. I was banging the drum all off season. I can't. Yeah. Ryan knows last season was miserable for me. Between him and Martinelli on the same team, on my same fantasy team, it was brutal.
Happy for Martinelli owners this season though.
Totally.
He's ghosting again. So
yeah, way to keep the faith. It's like some people kept the faith on Jesus thinking it was going to be a similar situation. It just very clearly was not.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Final box, guys. And I realized I didn't give you any direction on this, and that's on me, to be completely honest. Some of us, so what I technically meant by game week winning streamer is just like any week you see this guy, like any week you see this guy starting, that is a guy that you need to immediately pick up and start, right? Like, so just rest of season, game week winning streamer. Some of us, I think, interpreted this like for this week, which is fine. So look, we'll just make the distinction. It's not a big deal. But yeah, so the box is game week winning streamer. We can talk about which game week we're referring to. All right, so Totti has Bradley and Tsimikas. I think that's any week, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume so. Yeah.
Outside of Man City.
Yeah. And I mean, Tsimikas. God, did you guys watch the Liverpool game?
I heard he was at fault for one of the goals. Was he?
He's just so comically bad. Like his
right foot is. Yeah.
He scores well in fantasy, but he's not a great defender. And when it comes to the attacking side of the ball,
slow too, right?
He's not fast.
Languid.
He can send in a decent cross, but that shot that fell to him might have been one of the worst I've seen this season. It was really bad. But for fantasy, the way that we score, he's great. But man, he's not a good player. That's one of the positions that Liverpool fans are really scratching their heads about how in the world we did not strengthen this offseason. Robbo is, I in my opinion, not long for this team. I think he's going to go play somewhere else. I think he's probably going to go back home and play maybe as early as this summer. And I don't know why we didn't strengthen there, but that's a different story.
How old is he?
Robbo? What is he, 30 now?
Yeah.
No.
30. Yeah,
30?
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies.
I know, right? I mean, Mo.
I was thinking
Mo's
like 28 or
50.
something.
Yeah.
Cut up.
I remember when we had a young team, I was like, holy shit, this team rules. Yeah, Robbo's exactly 30.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Milinkovic, interesting.
I'm not sure I agree with that one. To be honest.
He's good in a good matchup, but I mean he starts every week, so it's not like, oh my god, Milinkovic is on the team sheet. like
Maybe if it
Bradley
was-
or Samikas.
If it was Bowley, I'd get that
Yeah.
one maybe.
Yeah, Bully's got his own ghost point
Totally. Bully's a good shout.
abilities.
I mean, but Milinkovic has been great. Like a lot of that has been clean sheets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, random clean sheets.
Yeah. Waiting for that goal though. Oh, he is one tall guy.
I mean, JWP is gonna feed him.
Yeah.
If he's not a game week winning streamer, ZB asks a great question. Like, is he a rest of season play? Sanjy, you roster him, right? Are you?
Yeah.
Do you see him as a streamer, or do you see him as like someone you're holding rest of season?
Rest of season hold. I think
Yeah.
he's just dependable.
Yeah.
So
I picked him up and dropped him again. He's somebody I'll pick back up for a decent matchup or run of fixtures, but I don't want to start him week in, week out.
yeah, I could
Clean
see that.
sheets are going to run out.
Yeah, I feel like most one of the leagues I was looking at earlier today, like Aina was free there, Nico Williams was free. I think the only Forest defender that was rostered was Alex Marino, maybe in that league. So
How many of the defenders that you drafted do you still have on your team? I only have one in
That's
like
a really
lot
good
of
question.
my leagues. I only have Tarkowski in my main league that I drafted.
All right. One of my leagues, it's one. Oh no, I take it back. It's two. I have Munoz and Calafiore, and then
California's one.
my other league it is two, Calafiore and Ben White.
Yeah.
I think I have two, Tarkowski and Pinnock in one league. But those
That's
are like
funny.
Yeah, but those guys like you'd never ever fathom dropping. I do remember though, I did drop Milenkovic, I think, in the league with me, Eugenie, and Gav. I think that was the first game week when it came out of nowhere. Oh, apparently he's serving a ban from this random cup game or cup final. And
Yeah.
then I think Gav picked him up, played him, and then dropped him again, and then I picked him up. So yeah, I agree with what Ryan said. Like I think on average you might actually come across him being stashable or picking up as a FA or whatever on a random game week. So yeah,
That's interesting though, Ryan. That's something we should think about next offseason a little bit more. Yeah.
Should you waste picks on
Right.
random defenders?
especially with the scoring change as well. So
And yeah.
Outside of the premium ones, of course.
Guys
Yeah.
who are unproven, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. There's already been some chat again about my picks here. So Harun is wondering, why would you say Enciso? What happened to Matoma? Nothing happened to Matoma. We're okay. We're good. I took this as if and when these guys start, you must start them. So I have Enciso and Enes Unal. I just think both of these guys, when they get the chance to start, will probably be in and amongst the attacking returns. I just think that they're pretty decent. So yeah, that's how I kind of pictured this was, game week winning streamer when and if they start. I don't see either of them starting this week, to be completely honest. So I kind of like digested this question a little bit differently. So yeah. Anyway, thoughts on either of those guys?
Yeah, I like them both. They both have high upside.
yeah, agreed.
Cool. We can move right along. Ryan.
I interpreted this a little differently. I thought a streamer level kind of roster hood, but have the ability to like drop a monster and win your game week. So I interpreted it a little differently. Kluivert, I didn't have him on my bingo card. I actually disdained him last season because he dropped about 4 ghosts a game, which was atrocious and close to when I did the end of season awards for the worst ghoster. He was very close to winning it. Only D. Cordova Reed saved him, and Miguel Antonio as well saved him from that. So I wasn't expecting to pick him up this season, but he's been great.
Yeah.
Has been ghosting pretty well. Just dropped, I think, 13 ghosts against Chelsea over the weekend. He's got an eye for goal. He should have taken the penalty. Probably would have made it. So he's a guy that if he can keep this ghosting up and get on the score sheet again, he has the chance to drop some monsters and win your game week. And he's relatively available. I picked him up in one league this week, so he's potentially a streamer on your wire.
I looked at his stats today, and I was amazed. Like he's one of those guys who's flying way under the radar.
Yeah,
because he just kind of assumed that he's been shit, but he hasn't. I don't know if I trust him yet. It takes a little bit of time to win my trust. So we'll see. Speaking of which, Joe Willock has certainly lost my trust.
How dare you?
Over the years. But he's got the ability to drop monsters like he teased over the weekend from a bench cameo.
Yep.
The halftime changes that Howe instituted definitely turned the game around the second half against Wolves. So I expect Willock, if he can stay fit, has a chance to be a relatively permanent fixture in the midfield going forward. So yeah, I think he's worth a punt this week and has the ability.
Who's he gonna replace?
Joe Linton, probably.
Joe Linton was bad.
Yeah, he was brutal.
He was terrible.
It was really bad.
Sanjy Joe was texting us saying that you had Larson going against him in the final and that you swapped him for Joe Linton.
And I swapped it. It's so bad. Like, and the worst thing yet is like I pulled my Discord. I was like, guys, I've got this issue. What should I do? Majority went Strand Larson, and I was like, oh no, it's okay. I'll play Jojo. It'll be fine. Oh my god, I was shitting bricks.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, yeah,
that was brutal.
Joe was like, I'm not watching the game, and I was giving the play-by-play. I was like, man, Joe Linton's been shit. He got a yellow card and he got yanked at halftime. Strand Larson just got an assist.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Willock's got a chance to be a decent mid-4, mid-5, but he always just has an injury bug, so he needs to stay fit and get a run of games. The fact that they don't have Europe is nice though for him.
Yeah. Fair. All right, Sanjy. We alluded to him before.
I want to change my answer now that you've explained it.
Ooh,
because,
okay. Well, give us both. Give us both.
So what I have right now is Raul Jimenez. And I thought, like, the way I interpreted was like, okay, like for example, this game week you saw him starting and Muniz was benched. I think it's worth a gamble just because I believe in that Fulham team. Like, I just think that they could honestly outperform expectations this season. Like, possibly an easy top half of the table finish. Maybe just outside of Europe. Like, Adama's absolutely cooking. Like, yeah, I don't know. I really, really like the look of Fulham this season. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe Raul maybe blanks, next couple of games, and then Marco switches back to Muniz and then does it back and forth, like, just to kind of keep his strikers happy and find a solution. But I think either one of those strikers, if they're at a streamer level, I'd be gambling on them. And now that you've kind of explained how you wanted us to answer this, I think generally any Chelsea attacker out of the millions that we own, there's a random day that someone that, like João Felix, for example, if he starts, play him. Like, yeah, that's how I would interpret this one now. So we've got tons of options, right? Pedro Neto, if he's not rostered,
I know, but
start him. And Kunku,
these
like,
guys are all going to be rostered, though. Unfortunately, they're going to be.
I was just going to ask, how many of those guys are you holding? Like, I'm so glad I'm not in that mix. Like, people who decided to stockpile Chelsea assets, it's worse than City this year.
Yeah, I played against a team over the weekend that had Nkunku and João Felix. Started them both, and you think like at least one of them is going to start every game week, but neither of them did.
Wow.
Of course, Nkunku came off the bench and scored a goal against me, but yeah, it's rough out there.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Good to go? Anything to add? Okay. Beautiful. All right. Game week 5. We're here. Let's do this. Game week 5. We'll go Ryan, then we'll go Sanjy, and then Totti actually, again, weighed in with some streamers, so we can kind of talk about his as well. But first, guys, one second. Let me pull you back here. Okay, there's a couple questions that the chat is wondering about, and I think these are really great things to get your guys' thoughts on before we move into our streamers quick. So, Ryan, thoughts on Shada and Fabio? I told Prash that I like Shada as potentially even more than a 1 week play. I kind of like stashing him now because he might have value the next few weeks. I didn't know what to say about Fabio though.
Yeah, Shada's normally I would say he's kind of streamer level, not worth a hold. But given the fact that Visa's out for the next couple of months, I don't know of anyone else that they could put up top. So I think he's going to have an opportunity to be the Brentford number 9 for better or worse over the next month or two until Visa or Igor come back. So yeah, I think he's a potentially high upside mid going forward, and the fact that he's a mid is also works well in his favor.
Yeah.
Carvalho, I think, scored a brace midweek. So, I mean, the fact that Visa's out is going to open up some slots for a couple folks. So, yeah, I'd punt on both. I'd probably be a little bit higher on Shada, but I think it's been shown that that Brentford kind of left wing spot can be lucrative. With Damsgaard had a pretty decent score earlier this season, and yeah, Fabio can keep scoring goals, and yeah, he'll be a decent hold.
Yeah, I like that. And then Sanjy, I'm trying to find the comment. Can I find it? Hard to say. Either way, it's not a big deal. Haroon is asking our thoughts on Dibbling. Of course, the name on everybody's lips.
I love him for this game week. He, I think he was on the bench for the cup game yesterday. So, I mean, the logic is that's probably, hints towards a start in the league. He should have scored against United, man. Onana pulled off a great save to deny him.
Yep.
The kid looks great.
He was active.
Yeah, him and Sugawara on that right side, so good. Love him. Yeah.
Yep. I really, because I watched that whole match. I gotta say, like, Sugawara stole my heart. He is such just a fantastic little ball of energy. Like, man, I don't know how good he actually is in real life. Like, I haven't watched enough of this team to see, but in that match, I mean, the tenacity, he was great.
Yeah, I mean, it could also just be playing United because they're dog shit. So there's also that.
There's that. Yeah, there is that. Let's see. Juventus 316. I love it. It's like
what a name.
It's a Bible verse.
Combination of Steve Steve Austin.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's giving 90s
Italian,
wrestling.
WWE.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Baleba or Ayari rest of season. I don't know that either are rest of season.
Yeah, because O'Reilly's coming back eventually, right? So.
But Baleba's got a decent chance given that he's more of the holding.
True.
Mid, and
so if it's one rest of season, I guess
if it's one, it's Baleba, I think.
Yeah.
You say CDM. The guy had back-to-back games of 4 shots each attempted. Like
no, I know, but that's in the system. That's perfectly expected.
Yeah.
CDM only for lack of a better term.
Right. Right. No, that's actually true. We should mention too, as long as we're talking CDMs, Prosh in the comments has been banging on about Ndidi. What do you guys make of his really impressive numbers so far?
Oh, he's such a fraud, man. I don't know if it lasts. Like,
I want to buy in. I really want to. The lowest he scored so far is 5.25 against Tottenham, then 9, 10.5, and 20.
Somebody dropped 9 fab on him yesterday in my league. I was like, holy shit. I put
Seems like a lot.
One bid on him. I was like, God damn.
Seems like a lot.
Kind of like Lamina, in the sense that it seems like he's playing more of a 10 advanced role. And if he continues, then he has the possibility of continuing to score because he's got defensive stats in his game. So I could see him being a set and forget mid-4 as well.
I cannot believe like Skip and Winks are playing behind him. Like that's just infuriating. I'm sorry. Like for the football purist, like this is no. I refuse. I'm not.
Yeah, you have a midfield 3 of 3, 3 unathletic CDMs. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
It's the most Steve Cooper lineup you can possibly imagine. Like it just. Man, the moment we came into this season and it became clear that Mabadidi had been dropped, it's like, you know what? I'm done with you. Just like you don't want to win. You don't want to win matches.
And better yet, than one game he starts Mabadidi, but then benches Fatu, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, just get
Can't
relegated.
play them both.
Like,
It's too risky.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Buying Jordan Ayew, I think, bought him some time.
I feel like Jordan Ayew's the first name in his team sheet when he makes his plans for every game week. Like,
right. How long do they go winless? You think they get one against Everton this weekend?
Ooh, I think that'll be a draw.
Arsenal, Bournemouth, Southampton, Forest, Ipswich. It's a good schedule.
Beat Southampton.
Okay. It's away. This could. I mean,
they got a good result against Palace.
Sure.
A draw at Selhurst Park is not nothing to shake a stick at.
I agree.
yeah, I'll just call it to rattle the cage. Game week 11 away to United, first win. Let's go.
Please let it be true. Please. That's amazing. Yes. All right. Very nice. QuizKit is saying, OMG, I'm so screwed. KDB busted his groin. If you have news on that, I was going to say, if you have news on that, let us know because we have not heard any updates. So put it in the chat and we'll share it right now if you know anything about that.
He has to be a paraplegic to not start against Arsenal. He's got like a death wish against us.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get whatever shot cryogenic freezing he needs to be ready for that game.
Give me the injection. All right. Let's talk Game Week 5. He's listed as out. I don't really know what that means though. That's NFL. You're talking NFL. There's no listed as out in the Premier League.
He's inactive.
That's not a thing. All right. So Ryan, hit us up.
Kind of a weird one. Mavropanos has been actually scoring pretty decently under the radar. So at home to Chelsea, the defense is getting a little bit more shored up. I think he's got a decent chance to get you 8 and then the very outside chance of getting a clean sheet. So I don't mind rolling him out as your final defender streamer this weekend.
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, talked about it. If Slot wants to rotate because Konate has started 3 games in a row, started midweek as well. This would be the game for it. Bournemouth at home. Kwanzaa scores well when he starts. So if he's on the team sheet, he's definitely worth a stream and definitely worth a stash midweek on the off chance that he does get that start. Already talked about Joe Willock. Going to be Arsenal Academy fest this weekend with him and Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson and God knows who else. Jack Wilshere probably on the roster somewhere. Christensen let me down last week. He had been ghosting pretty well up until that point and then dropped a stinker against Palace. But Everton at home is the tonic that cures all. So last chance saloon for him. If he doesn't score well against these bums and head outs and McNeil crosses, then he's dead to me. More positive note, I think this is probably the only chance that you have an opportunity to comfortably start Ogbene. The the last time out, I think he was more playing like a wingback role, if I'm not mistaken, as opposed to like an out and out winger. So, be curious to see how he plays this weekend. But again, any decent attacking player against Southampton is usually going to see some joy. So, this is probably his one chance to shine this season. So, I'd take it.
I like that. Any thoughts on any of those, Sanjy?
No, I like them all. I'm sorry about the Christiansen one because I jumped on him this game week, so that might be my fault. But it was very promising to see him taking corners like that.
Yeah,
I
nice.
love that. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff.
QuizKit has just sent me something on Discord. It's a screenshot from Fantrax that says groin out for next game.
Well, I only trust Fantrax projections. Those are gospel. Everything else suspect.
So now I see, and then he says, "Bite me" with a smiley face. So okay, fair. I see what you're saying. However, the Premier League just doesn't work that way. Like that. Fantrax can say whatever they want, but that's not how the Premier League works. So we're not going to know until later in the week with Pep's press conference. Even potentially then, he might not tell us. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you're not screwed yet. You're going to have to give yourself some options, which sucks because you're going to have to maintain that flexibility to be able to sub him out. Considering
The last game of the game week.
Yeah, exactly. That's a brutal one, and I'm really, really sorry that you're in that situation. That sucks. So yeah, maybe you add like a Partey. Like if Partey's available, I would maybe look for that. He's scored fairly well. I think 7 is his lowest score so far.
Yeah, it's not bad cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think if you have KDB, you have some semblance of City cover, but yeah, if you don't,
Like a Gundogan, maybe.
If he's out there, yeah.
a cheap way to get cover is Partey.
Yeah, that's brutal. Ugh. That's interesting that Fantrax is already making that call.
Yeah, Fantrax
Weird.
does a lot of weird shit though. So
Yeah,
Yeah, but they don't freelance. They get it from RotoWire or somewhere, you would think.
So I came across I think there's how they have these ITKs and all this crap now because of FPL. But one of the Man City accounts was saying that early word so this is like 50 minutes ago. Early word around KDB is not serious, but tests and physio tomorrow will confirm what's going on. So I think we just wait on the pressers on this one, to be honest.
He'll start. Guarantee.
You're quite the optimist,
Guarantee. That's one
Yeah,
way to put it.
this is interesting. Draft Pie is
Or
asking about
pessimist.
how the NFL works, and because I had alluded to that, and so he's like, is there some sort of official injury list that is truthful and trustworthy? Kind of, actually, yeah. They have to say whether or not every player was limited, full, or a non-participant in practice for every single week, or every single day of the week leading up to the game. And then, as you said, Ryan, yeah, there's an inactive list that's an official inactive list an hour before kickoff. And that is like the final deadline. Many teams will, even before that time, come out and say, yeah, this person's not playing this week. They're out.
Yeah, I absolutely love NFL for that transparency.
It's really nice. It really is very nice. Yeah. No. Anyway. All right, Sanjy, what do you got for us?
So if you want to know,
there he is, Stibbling.
if you want to know about my picks, go read my article. That's my start. But yeah, we basically talked about all these guys on the pod, right? Dibbling versus Ipswich, promoted matchup. I think it's a good play there. Baleba ghosting out of his mind at the moment, shooting like a madman, 4 shots in each game. Well, he dropped 7.5 versus 10-man Arsenal. I think it was 14 loss matchup as well.
Scored a goal today too.
Yeah, great shout. Lamina, we talked about him as well, playing a more advanced role, ghosting quite well. Maybe there's some tired legs for Aston Villa after their return to the Champions League. So I like that play as well. And then the final one was Tuanzebe versus Southampton. So the reason I suggested him, because I feel like a lot of people are just going to gravitate towards Dario Shea or Greaves. And if you're coming up against one of these managers, then I think Tuanzebe is a decent cover as well. He's been ghosting quite well. I think almost like just a few points shy of what Greaves has been putting up.
Totally.
So article this week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And as a fullback, you maybe expect some potential attack in return as well. But yeah, those are my picks. Again, if you want more detail, go read the article, guys.
There it is. DraftSociety.com. All right. Beautiful. For Totti, he is recommending one Jadon Sancho. How do we feel about that one, guys?
Is he a streamer though? His roster, he's rostered in every one of my
Is
leagues.
I
he?
assume everyone would have gone for him on waivers this week.
Oh, after his
Before that, I mean,
heroics.
after the announcement to Chelsea, I was snapped up in I think every one of my leagues.
We've mentioned the difficulties with Fantrax roster numbers, but
Yeah.
50% currently.
Yeah, fair.
So I mean that puts
Competitive
that puts
leagues,
him in
it's
play.
got to be close to 100.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Ferdy to me feels like he should be more than 30%.
Yeah,
he's been
Freddy
gone in
scored
mine.
tonight as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's a matter of time before Ferdy's in this lineup.
yeah.
If he's out there in your league, you got to grab him.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that, the dearth of quality midfielders, as Ryan's alluded to a bunch of times, like you just have to grab him. You got to do it. Dara O'Shea, yep. I mean, in leagues where people are in the know, he's been gone for weeks. but he might be out there in your league. He is currently 1% rostered.
It was so brutal to come up against him this game week. Like, genuinely, it was not fun at all. Like, I faced him in one league and then Muric in another. It's like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Is-
went a stack, Ipswich Town defensive stack, like him, Tuanzebe, Greaves, Muric, I mean,
It's
that's
too
a
early
good
to
60
tell.
points.
Yeah.
It's too early to tell, but is that a set and forget?
Could
He
be.
has the ability to be.
But he can also score own goals. This is my fear about him.
That is true. That is very true. And then we've mentioned Connor Bradley a bunch of times, Totti.
He's still rostered in all my leagues too.
Really? He was dropped in all of mine.
Somebody grabbed him in our IGL league after waivers cleared as well. I don't know. Was that you, Joe? I don't know
That was
if it
me.
you.
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken in my league by me.
That's absolutely me. That happened actually. I'm glad you said that. That happened yesterday after I saw lineups for the Champions
Right.
League.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you in on a secret because Kwanzaa's still available in our league, and if you go get him now, it's fine. But I'm completely torn right now between whether or not to grab Kwanzaa or Bradley, and I just have no idea.
Why would Bradley start?
I think it's probably Kwanzaa, to be completely honest. I think Kwanzaa's probably the
Yeah,
play.
it has to be.
But Bradley, I feel like, I don't know.
He's a game week winner,
He has more upside. Exactly. He has more upside.
but less
So-
chance of starting.
Right.
But he's gotten more minutes than Kwanzaa has over the last few game weeks or whatever, right? Coming on for these 20 to 30-minute cameos. So
But that's what I'm saying. I think that Slot is going to utilize this tactic of keeping his players, quote unquote, fresh by having them not play the whole game rather than actually rotating.
Which, as a Trent roster, is fine by me. If you want to bank the clean sheet at 70 minutes, that's
Right.
more than happy
Totally.
to do that.
Totally. Although, I mean, his numbers have been less than we expected, but they're not
Yeah.
terrible. I mean, he's still like 11
Better than
points per
Rabo's.
game or
My
something.
God.
Yeah, Rabo's a mess.
big old egg.
Yes. All right. That will do it. Anything else to add, guys?
Did you have yours?
No.
No, he doesn't do them anymore.
No, if we have 3 of you all, I don't do an extra one because 4 is a lot to go through. But
I mean, to be fair, Ryan, he made all the slides, so
I don't. That's still pure laziness to me.
All right, let me look. I'll give you some of the ones that I've got in my
Contractually, we can't end before an hour and a half.
in my queue.
of course, yeah.
Some of the ones I've got in my queue. Did you guys mention Shada?
No,
We
but
talked about him.
Well,
We talked about
yeah,
him and Fabio Carvalho. Yeah.
Nobody had him in their streamers list, so he's in mine. There you go. Yeah, I mean Ayari, if he's out there, I would grab him. He got a start last time. It was decent, and could be again. Yeah, the rest of them I think you guys have mentioned. How do you guys feel about Barkley this week?
I was thinking about him. I almost put him in there.
He's toward the bottom of my queue, but still, I thought
I'm gonna wait on
potentially.
him. I think.
Yeah.
So it's funny with Barkley. I've never seen this like the shittiest assist for the Will's best goal.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Dude, I needed that to be Rogers.
I needed it to be Ramsey or Rogers or anybody else. Honestly,
his crazy, just little tiny layoff to it was crazy. It was so funny. But no,
Durant's midweek goal too.
Yeah,
No,
the one that got
I
chopped off.
didn't.
Oh my god,
What
the
is
finish
he-
was disgusting.
I don't know what he does to the ball. It's just like what the man.
He's
He's
gonna
got
be-
a
you gotta
see
crazy
it, Joe.
technique.
Yeah,
he's gonna be awesome. I really think he's gonna be a very good player.
Yeah,
I think for fantasy, once he actually gets starts, he is gonna be a little bit goal dependent.
they've every interview now they ask Emery kind of is he able to cohabitate with Watkins in the same
Right.
lineup, and he says he's kind of working to figure it out. But I mean, if he stays an impact sub that scores every time he comes on, then if it ain't broke. But at some point, he's going to, I assume, experiment with it.
That's the death of Bailey then, right?
Bailey or somebody on the left, like Ramsey or somebody.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. Somebody asked about him earlier in chat, and I said if he's out there right now,
He's been
grab him.
gone. Yeah,
He's been gone in my
all
leagues,
leagues.
yeah.
Which I don't really get because I still don't think he's going to get a start for a while. I think he's going to be a headache, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I
Interesting.
put the link to the goal in our group chat for you.
Oh,
Joe, so
nice. Okay.
Whenever you get a chance.
I will
Is it
absolutely
the
watch that.
behind view?
yeah,
Oh, God.
exactly that one. It's so
man. It's incredible.
The way that ball travels, the one from the weekend, it was just unbelievable.
yeah.
Oh,
I had to watch it again. I was like, how did it go in?
to
think that's like
see
A left
to see the way that totally. To see the way that his teammates reacted. I mean, Rogers was just like big up in him, like did you see him like grabbing the back of his like jersey and pointing at his name? Not Durant, like Rogers was doing that to him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. They just like really embraced him.
And in
quite a bit.
training, he must just be doing crazy shit all the time.
Gotta be. Because they're like, finally, it's time. Like this guy's announcing his presence.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love it. All right. Let's do it, guys. Let's close her down. Everybody, listeners, everybody in chat, thank you for hanging with us tonight. But everybody, literally everybody, good luck this weekend. Hope that things go your way. Hope that your close calls go the right way. And if you need anything, let us know. The best way to get advice, especially day of, on Saturday morning, on Sunday, hop into the Discord. You need to be in the EPL Draft Discord. And if you want to join the Inner Circle, we'll get you in the Inner Circle Discord. But there's a great community. There's a vibrant community that you can join for free as well if you're interested in that. The Banta Boys Discord, you can hop in there. Sanjy, send him a DM. He'll let you know how to get in there. And again, just the Draft EPL regular sort of overview Discord. That's the place to be. If you want the inside info, hop into the Inner Circle. We'll get you. We got you. But yeah, Discord, do it. Hop in there. Get your advice on the day of, and And yeah, get some people who know to actually weigh in on the questions, the quandaries, the things that you have going on in your team. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. It's been a pleasure. Talk to everyone soon. KPC out. Cheers.
Bye.